Here, let's take a look. Crowd in DC outraged by federal law enforcement presence.
This was the scene overnight at a checkpoint along one of the city's busiest streets.
Trump kicked out most of mainstream media from DC, and a lot of the journalists that are in DC, for all that's left now, that they have no jobs, so they left DC. I have a friend who works with a lot of the Reuters, CNBC reporters who have left, so they just like straight up aren't operating in DC anymore. Is what you're saying? Like, there's still stuff to cover in DC. Even the company shouldn't be telling them to like get out of DC and like go somewhere else so they can actually do some like, you know, coverage that they can approve. Like, why wouldn't you start doing more like on the ground coverage? Oh my God, I hate, there is like journalism as far as like, you know, the mainstream journalism, like legacy journalism, it's just dead in this country. There's no journalism left here. Like, the best journalism we have are people with Substacks and Patreons, unironically. Substacks, Patreons, and Twitch streams. That's where journalism is in America.
A commander with DC
I'm
police.
trying my best. Yeah, I know, Vonk. Like, I know you're a journalist. Like, you know, no disrespect. You know, like, there's obviously still people that are working, but damn, are y'all outnumbered? Trump doesn't have much issue with dead journalists, so I get it. Yeah, that's fair.
Joining us now is Washington, D.C. City Council member Charles Allen. What do you know about this checkpoint set up on the very popular 14th Street near U Street Northwest?
Now you've got all these federal law enforcement folks. They don't wear a badge, they don't wear their name, they're covering their faces, and that's very different. And what you see from the community reaction is what I'm concerned about, that federal law enforcement fundamentally changes the dynamic of community policing. They're not trained for it, they're not equipped for it, and it just amps everything up in a way that's very unconstructive and can lead to actually more dangerous situations. Over the last 2 years, we have driven crime down by about 50% of violent crime. Now, listen, everybody will be the first to say any crime is one too many, and so we still have work to do, we still have progress, but that happens best with the coordination between the mayor, the council, the community, MPD.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The hyper focus on this is so ridiculous. No, we're actually doing really good about crime. No, we're actually really oppressive. And all of the like reductions in crime are not even because of how occupied these communities are. Like, that's not reducing crime, it's causing it. What's reducing it is the overall conditions being slightly improved over time, and that we are out of the lockdown eras where there was like an uptick in crime. Like, this is just how societies progress. There's going to be a reduction in crime over time unless you start doing more austerity. Like, it's such a ridiculous thing to hyper focus on. No, trust, we can do liberals. We can do the crime addressing. We don't need you to do it. This is not the argument you want to try and stand on right now.
The federal law enforcement aspect, putting military members on the streets of our city, does not make us safer.
Cosmos, different city. No, I mean, like, it is a different like structure, right? Because there is no governor. Like, that's what makes it different. It also is a very diverse city, which cities are more diverse, but it is probably one of the most diverse cities in the country. Does Trump still have all those tanks there from his birthday? There's probably some still hanging around. The White House official Twitter account has a long thread in which they've posted pictures of people arrested during the Fed's occupation of the city. Every single person in the thread is a person of color. And that is the important thing here. There are white people who live in DC, and they're predominantly, of course, going after non-white people. I don't even think that people should have their faces posted in normal circumstances when they're arrested. Like, if someone's shoplifting, if someone, you know, is like a disorderly conduct and arrested, we shouldn't be posting their faces like anyway. It's already embarrassing enough that these hogs are, you know, detaining you and that those are your oppressors. It's already embarrassing enough. Like, this is to humiliate people and to cause a chilling effect. A chilling effect that you do not feel safe in your own city. Here, let's take a look. We have WUSA 9, protests erupts in DC.
Now, after hearing stress, anxiety, and concerns from people, we are starting to see some action. People stepping up and speaking out about this federal takeover.
I don't want to call national emergency. If I have to, I will.
Day 3 of federal law enforcement agencies operating in the district. And President Donald Trump already says he believes DC's Congress would approve an extension of the 30 days under his invoked home rule.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? It's entirely controlled by the Republican Party. Why wouldn't they do that? Like, they're Congress. You think that the Republican representatives are going to be at the receiving end of this? Of course not.
They were afraid to walk out. They're not afraid anymore.
The president says the goal is to stop crime in the district, which he called
In fucking Georgetown, the whitest part? Yeah, but I'm willing to bet that it's, non-white people who are working at the restaurants, at the hotels, at the bars.
quote, out of control, despite DC police data showing crime is actually declining.
It's not surprising, but it shows our need to continue the fight back and to really come together.
And DC residents like Kristen Bonner aren't pleased.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
We just recognize the time in the moment and realize that we have to be out in the streets. We have to support Black communities and oppressed communities.
You know what I'm reminded of? And I think maybe we should take a look back at Chairman Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton's chapter of the Black Panther Party was under constant siege from Chicago PD, from the FBI, COINTELPRO quite literally got him killed. There were straight up firefights that broke out between Chicago PD and the Black Panther Party. Like, even like that is like probably the wrong terminology. Like the cops were sieging them. Like, why did they go after Fred Hampton specifically? The term they used was Black Messiah. They did not want somebody who was a popular political figure that could unite working class coalitions, like he did with his Rainbow Coalition. Fascists will do everything and anything that they, when they feel threatened. Of course, I mean, fascism itself is, it's liberalism, capitalism, defending itself from causing its own problems. Fascism is the defense mechanism of capitalism. The kinds of structures that they were creating in Chicago, the Black Panther Party, free breakfast program, right? Education, after-school programs, community resources, mutual aid. Those things are in all of these different orgs, right? But because they're so decentralized, because they're even atomized from each other, there's not really an organizational capacity at the level that the Black Panther Party had at the time. There's a lot of sectarian infighting. We need a Fred Hampton right now. It's not that we need a Fred Hampton, right? It's that we need what Fred Hampton was building.